Welcome back to the Means Report, everybody. We're talking about organ donation, how you can be a donor, how people benefit from organ donations, and really most importantly on this Sunday, how simple it all is. Tracy Ide with LifeLink of Georgia did a great job explaining what all is involved in the organ donation process as far as signing up to be a donor. Now we want to move on to the expenses involved and how that's handled, because once you make the commitment to be an organ donor, you might be worried about how you or somebody else is going to pay for all of this. And for that, we turn to Pat Rochford. Pat is the director of the Georgia Transplant Foundation, and I guess the first thing I want to do, besides welcome you, Pat, and I do welcome you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for driving over from Atlanta. I'm glad you're here. What's the difference between the Georgia Transplant Foundation and LifeLink? Where do their duties end and y'all's begin, or do they crisscross?
We work with them, but no, they're the ones that are going to be out working with the public, getting the organs, procuring the organs after death. And we take over with the people that get the organs, and they start their new life. They've got this new miracle, and we work with them.
Well, tell me how you work with them. If someone is in need of, say, a kidney, and Tracy's people find one, they find a donor, and that donor gives the kidney to someone, how does your role, what do you do at that point? How do you all take over?
Well, I can even start before then.
Okay.
When you hear that you need to get an organ transplant, you're going to need to get listed. Very often, in order to get listed, you're going to have to raise money. They want to know that you have a certain amount of money in the bank so that you can handle the costs post-transplant.
Oh.
So it's not going to be an organ that you're going to lose right away because you can't take care of it. We have a program called Access to Care, where we help you. If you raise up to $10,000, we'll match that money, and that will give you $20,000 post-transplant to work with paying your meds, paying whatever medical bills you have after the transplant.
Is this for when people with insurance, when their insurance runs out, or it just covers what insurance doesn't? Tell me about that.
It covers what insurance doesn't. If you have insurance, that's great, but still your co-pays are going to be tremendous. It can charge up to $20,000, $60,000 up to throughout the year, and you have to meet those costs. I mean, if you have 10 co-pays that are $20 a co-pay, it's going to add up quickly.
What kind of expenses are involved as far as just once you're out of the hospital? That doesn't mean you're in the clear. There's still the post-operative care that you have to get, not to mention the prescription medications you're going to have to take. Kind of walk us through, say, the months and years down the road after transplant.
Well, you have to go back to the hospital and be checked every once in a while. You go back, you get your biopsies or whatever to be checked. And you might have to travel from Augusta to Atlanta to get to the transplant center if you didn't happen to get a kidney here at MCG. We can help you with those travel expenses. You might have to stay overnight in Atlanta, and there's a place to stay called the Mason House at Emory that will help pay the costs of staying there overnight. If you need to stay in a hotel, we can help you with that. And then the immunosuppressants are the rest of your life. You don't take them just for a while and hope that your organ is going to last you. You have to take those the rest of your life, and the costs can be quite high. The man that started the Georgia Transplant Foundation was watching people have to make a decision. Do I take my meds this week, or do I make a house payment? And he was horrified with that, and that's how we came into being.
There's doctors do a great job of explaining what all is going to be involved in a certain procedure, but sometimes you walk away from that consultation and you still have questions. What kind of educational assistance do you all provide to these patients when they're saying, what's about to happen to me?
Well, we have conferences that we have around the state called Trends in Transplant. But even better than that, we have the Mentor Project, and Cheryl Gay is one of our best mentors. And you meet with people, you might just hold their hands, you might talk to them on the telephone, you might become lifelong friends. But it's pairing up two people, one person that's going into the process, another person that's already been through it and survived it. And it's immeasurable help.
Where do y'all get your money?
Well, the bulk of our money comes from the Mason Trust Fund, which is a fund that was set up to just help people in Georgia who needed a transplant be able to get it. And the rest of our money is from the goodness of people. We have donations, we do fundraisers, we're always out looking, hoping to get more people to work with us.
I know every individual has specific needs and specific things that you have to address when it comes to transplant, but is there a general criteria that you might be able to put out there as far as a candidate? If someone says, look, I'm in need of a kidney transplant, help me, I have no money. Are there candidates that you might turn away? Is there an age group that you see more of? Talk about the people that come through your doors.
Well, the people that would be turned away for whatever reason would be with the hospitals. That's not anything that I have anything to do with.
Right.
We have, if there is a need, if there is a financial need, we're going to be there to help you. And it's not something where you're applying for a loan and you might have to wait a month for something to come through. If you have a house payment that's due in 2 weeks and you need to get that money, we're able to get it out to you in 2 to 3 days.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, that's
Well, I'll ask you the same question I asked Tracy. How's business? Are you seeing people needing your help trending up or down over the years? What's going on?
Well, especially in this economy, the need is greater
Yeah.
and the money is less. I mean, people aren't giving to nonprofits right now like they used to. When money is tight, you're going to hold on to it for fear of what's coming down the road for yourself. And at this point in time, people are losing their jobs. We have a program where we'll pay your COBRA payment for up to 18 months. So you lose your job, we want to keep that insurance for you because you're going to need that to pay for all the costs of the medical needs throughout the lifetime of the organ. So our need is greater.
Well, you say the lifetime of the organ, so it really never ends. If I'm able to benefit from your services and I come up with $20,000 proving that I'm going to at least pay part of it, and then you team up with me, you partner with me, it's a relationship that never ends, isn't
No,
it?
it doesn't. I always tell people that they're being a part of the family now.
Yeah.
Once someone has an organ transplant, they're a part of GTF forever, and we're always there to help you. The emergent need is the one that they're going to need more than anything right after transplant. And then there's issues that happen. You might get sick, you might lose the organ, something might happen that you're back in the hospital, and we're there to support you again.
Tell me about people on your team that actually go in and meet face-to-face with these patients. Beyond the financial assistance, when it's time to hold these people's hands, who do you turn to at GTF to help these people?
Well, we have 2 social workers on staff, 3 social workers actually on staff that'll work you through your problems. And again, the best help that you can have is the Mentor Project, having somebody that's already been there and done that.
Talk about the community support that you receive, the fundraisers that you all do, what you still need, and well, let's just start with that. How can people help you, and what's the response that you get when you do reach out to the community?
It's tremendous, especially the transplant community. They want to give back and they want to help. They're out speaking on our behalf all the time. We have fundraisers, soup to nuts. I always say there's something for everybody. We do bicycle rides. We do, our biggest event is in January with Tom Glavin, and he's been involved with us for 20 years now. So if anybody is interested in finding out about us and about how they can work with us, they can go to gatransplant.org.
Who's the youngest, or how old is the youngest patient you've ever worked with? Do you remember?
Gosh, that you can need an organ from the day you're born. So we've had some 8-day-old children that have gotten heart transplants.
Gotten heart transplants, y'all have helped, and then you've watched them
Yes,
turn
we
into
have.
children and keep growing?
It's amazing. I have kids now that I saw as infants, and they're going off to college. It makes me feel very old.
You're
but-
kidding.
No, I'm
You
not.
saw them in their greatest hour of need, and they're going off to
Absolutely.
college.
Yes, it's amazing.
You know, you're one of those people who has a job that is not 9 to 5, certainly, who can't leave it at the office. Just on a personal level, how must it feel to know that you're impacting people's lives so intimately, so profoundly, and really so permanently?
I am probably the luckiest person on earth. I have the best job in the world.
Yeah.
When you see someone who's desperately in need and doesn't know where to turn, and we can say, okay, let us write you a check, we can help you, and then we're there to support them afterwards to help them. We don't want them to constantly need a charity. We want them to get back on their feet. So we also have a program that can get them back to work after they're finished with their organ transplant and they're ready to be back on their own. We want them to be self-sufficient. So just like a parent, you're going to be there and you're going to help them and you're going to do the best you can for them.
Yeah, that's a great point to make, too, that once the transplant is complete, we're not talking about people who become bedridden or invalids or shut-ins for the rest of their lives. You see them go on to lead productive lives. Not just those babies we talked about, but the grown-ups, too.
Absolutely. That's the first time my children got involved with me, that my son came back one day and he said, I just met a woman that had a heart transplant. I think he actually thought that these people would be in bed and you could tell by looking at them they had a heart transplant. These people are more active than I am. I can't keep up with them. It's we have these transplant games that they go to that's like the Olympics. And Cheryl Gay and her little group of heart transplant recipients will go much longer than I can ever keep up with them.
How was April when the spotlight was on Donate Life nationwide? Did you see a boost? Did you see more interest, I hope?
We absolutely did. It's one of the frustrations that people are aware of so many of the other diseases that are out there, and organ transplant isn't something that people are aware of. So if we get our 1 month to get the word out there as much as we possibly can.
Well, I wish you all the best. And again, if they go to the website, all their questions will be answered, and they can also make a donation if they want and help support your efforts.
Absolutely. Or they'll find my phone number, and I'm always available to talk. Like you said, it doesn't stop. It's 24/7.
No, it's not just an office job. Let's put that website on the screen. You see it there. Thank you, Marlena. GAtransplant.org. GAtransplant.org. You can call the Georgia Transplant Foundation and find out all the information you need. And Pat Rochford, I really appreciate not only the drive from Atlanta, of course, but especially in the wake of the recent storms we had and the weather that we were going through as of this taping on Thursday. But just the information that you shared was wonderful.
Well, thank you so much. We're always anxious to get the word out to people.
Well, anytime, you're welcome back here. And thank you for what you do for people.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. When we come back, how you can go to our website and shape future editions of the Means Report. Also, how you can do, as Tracy Ide's mother does, follow us on Facebook and keep up with the goings-on here at News Channel 6, as well as Twitter and all the other social media that may be out there. Marlena is the expert. She has the addresses posted, and we'll share all that information with you as we wrap up another edition of the Means Report on WJBF News Channel 6 in a moment.